Hello, welcome to another episode of Fighting Game Fridays. This time looking at Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, also known as Giant Attack. Why? Because they added Hugo. I think. No, might be more reasons. Damn, excuse me. So as you can see, this is the character roster. It's a total of up to 13 characters. 14 if you get Akuma. He's just not unlocked at the moment, but he is in there. And the two characters that were added were Hugo and Urien. And they also made Yun and Yang separate characters, giving Yang his own selection of moves, his own moveset and everything like that. So, yeah, that's basically it. I decided to go for Sean in this playthrough, which I think might have been a huge mistake. So, yeah, and the first character I'm fighting over here is Yun. So, alright, that's that. So there are a couple differences between Street Fighter 3 and the Street Fighter 2 Second Impact, which I have here. Released on October 1997. October 1997, remember this, because remember in the last one I said it was released in February of 1997. That's right, so long before the debacle of what happened with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Same thing here. Less than a year later, we get an update. Only difference between this is it happened to arcades, so, you know, that's not really much of a difference. I mean, that's kind of a big difference between what they did and it's become like one retail version and another retail version. This happened to arcades, because back when arcades were big, damn, excuse me, of all the times I have my throat get all messed up. Of all the, you know, back when arcades were big, updates like this happened all the time, and it really didn't affect, the consumer that much, because all it did was pretty much cost them a quarter or 50 cents at the time. I'd go over to the next machine. Eventually they're ported to consoles. And when this game finally came out to consoles, you got both games on one disc. You got Street Fighter 3 New Generation and Super Street Fighter 3. I'm not Super Street Fighter 3, Super Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, all on one disc, for the price of around $50, $40 to $50. So yeah, and this is Urien, new character in the Street Fighter series, younger brother of Gil. Gil, who has like two different elements in his body, both fire and ice, and representing two personalities of the human spectrum. This guy also has two different kinds of elements, metal and electricity. And so he like generates a metal skin while in battle and is able to manipulate balls of electricity. And for some whatever reason, him and his brother decide to fight in toilet paper. The whole thong thing, I think, is some Greek thing. I don't know. It should have covered more. The guy starts in the big old nice suit and then just rips it off to start a fight. Guess they don't want to get his suit dirty. I don't know. So yeah, here's another new character. Like I said, younger brother of Urien. He's jealous of Urien, who is the president of the Illuminati. I know he gets upgraded to Emperor, which is something revealed in Urien's ending. And so yeah, that's what he is. And he's trying to usurp his brother because he's really pissed off. And as you see, I kind of got rid of him pretty easily there. They bring back the victory screen, which I think I liked better in these two versions than in Third Strike. It was kind of like dull and static and boring. And then there's Necro. Yeah, I remember Necro. Again, I really edited like a lot of this video. Believe me, if I did the whole thing of what I did, this video would have been an hour long, and I really can't hold anybody's interest for that long. I mean, hell, I can barely do it for 10 minutes. And I really don't want to talk on much, but you really want to watch about an hour of me getting my ass kicked? Alright, somebody might, but it's just not going to happen, sorry. So Necro is part of the experiments that happened with, that Gil is doing on people to create some kind of perfect soldier or whatever, and this guy was kind of a reject that escaped before he can get executed, and there'll be more on that little project come Third Strike. So anyway, let's see, what else? Where was I? Oh yeah, and like talking about how the game brought back all the characters from the original and introduced Hugo and Urien. Urien we saw. Hugo did not appear in this playthrough, but I'll get to him in a minute. Yun and Yang from the first game are now separate characters. Akuma does make a return. He is a hidden character. There's a certain condition you have to fulfill to get him unlocked, I believe. One of which I will discuss a little later on in this little playthrough here. And Shin Akuma is also here, but he's also a selectable character, and also a hidden boss, which again I will discuss later in the playthrough. In addition to Super Bars, the player can perform highly more powerful versions of their special moves called EX Specials. This is a game that introduced the EX moves. Basically, you hit 2 level buttons of a move, like 2 punch, 2 kick, when you do a special move, and the move you do will do double the damage. You can also recover quicker from these moves for whatever reason. Your super gauge has to be fulfilled. Oh, here we go. And the bonus game returns to Street Fighter 3 in the form of Parry the Ball. I did not do so well on this. I mean, I was trying, but trying to play some of these older games on these flat screen TVs does cause some sort of delay, and quite frankly, the controls for this game weren't really that responsive. I mean, seriously, I was doing a bunch of moves that I didn't want to do, and when I was trying to do other moves, it wouldn't work. So yeah, the controls kind of messed up. See, while Dreamcast had the best version of some of the fighting games at the time, if you didn't have an arcade stick, the gameplay sucked. And I'm sitting here trying to play on the Dreamcast remote, which, you know, not really ideal for fighting games at all. Although I did pretty good in Third Strike, but, you know, I deal with Third Strike when I deal with Third Strike. So yeah, you can now escape from throws if you hit the button at the right time. Usually, if you're close enough to an opponent and you hit medium punch, or medium kick, or hard punch in arcade, and probably just low, I don't know, you throw the character. You know, usually when that happens, well, you throw the character, but if you can, or they can throw you, and if you hit the button at the right time, you tech out of it, I think that's the right term, and you will be able to continue on without getting thrown. Each character now has personal moves, and some of the moves have like a special effect. Say, for instance, Sean. He can throw a basketball. He throws a basketball. It hits the. He throws a basketball, and it can like either hit the player or maybe stop him in the middle of a jump attack, or even stop a super combo. If I'm enough this, I know Dudley's Rose does that too. He throws a rose, similar to what Sean does, and it can stop a move. In the case of Ryu, it can lower his stun gauge or anything like that. So basically, the controls, I think, were pretty bad. And quite frankly, after playing this game, I figured that, you know, this game is fucking cheap. I mean, seriously. It's like with Street Fighter 3, Capcom was really trying to be SNK here, and SNK fighting games are notorious for their cheap AI, and also known as there's a term called SNK boss syndrome. Basically, like the boss is almost really cheap, damn near impossible, and they really captured that with Gil here. He was a asshole. And, you know, sometimes I just think that the AI of this game is pretty broken because, basically it's like, you know, the characters, they seem to recover way too fast after doing a super move. Every time they block you, they seem to push back, and you can't really follow up on the combo. And stuff like that. I think that's a mechanic you can use to your advantage too, but... So basically, yeah. Like, the characters do cheap move, keep spamming things over and over, and it works for them. You try to spam them, they know exactly how to counter you. They know exactly what to do to counter you here, there, and everywhere. It's just a pain in the ass. And even after, you know, practicing, sometimes you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this game? I'm like, damn, seriously, I'm doing all these moves and, like, it ain't doing shit. The characters will jump around, they hit you from almost anywhere. The range is, like, fucking ridiculous. Especially with characters like, with Gil, who just, like, reach for you from across the damn country. Or whatever, so I was really pissed off at this game. It took me, like, almost an hour to get through all of this. And it was, most of the game itself was, like, basically the last 2 characters. And the game was just a fucking pain in my ass. Especially right here, look at this shit. The land has been cheap in all 3 of the Street Fighter games anyway. So especially this one, which keeps doing that stupid move and it can like throw you from like almost anywhere. basically her move is all kicks. She does not punch at all, I believe. Every button is a kick button with her. It doesn't matter which button you hit. You punch, you hit kick, she's going to do a kick. And she throws and all this other stuff. So yeah, fuck you, Elena, you cheap bitch. I'm going to keep spamming this fireball at you or whatever. So yeah, Sean's got his little uppercut thing there. A little different than the other two. He does a thing where he punches him up. Where he does a kind of like Dragon Punch and follows up with another punch after it, knocking the opponent down. It's a pretty cool move if you get to land. And you see he has a couple of different super moves. The Hado Burst, which is his own version of the fireball. He can't really throw fireballs at all, but he can throw like the Hado Burst. It's as close as he can do to throwing a fireball. So luckily I finally was able to take out this stupid bitch after like 4 tries. I think it was only 3, I don't know. But yeah, Sean, by the way, was supposed to be the only Shoto character in the Street Fighter 3 series. There are going to be no plans whatsoever to put Ryu and Ken in there, but they decided at the last minute they're going to go ahead and do it because the game probably wouldn't get that much attention, and it barely got that much attention anyway. It'd probably get less attention than it did, but luckily they decided, well, we'll put Ken and Ryu in there because they got to be like the old school fighters. This game obviously takes place a few years after Street Fighter 2. You can tell that Ken and Ryu do look pretty aged. Not aged, but they look older, and Akuma's actually starting to form gray hair. If you look at his, when you see his sprite. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in this playthrough, but whatever. So Oro makes a return, like I said, the 200-year-old guy who limits his power. I was actually able to take this guy down in one try, so. But yeah, whatever. So basically, like I said, the controls, they didn't seem to work all that well. I mean, I tried to do one move and I do something else. Sometimes I did a bunch of super combos by accident. Sometimes it worked my favorite, sometimes it didn't. And sometimes I the move just straight out didn't come out. I'm just, I put the input, and not only does the character not like do a different move, the character doesn't do a move. I mean, seriously, you know how many times I try to do a certain thing, the character just stands there? It's like, is there something wrong with my controller? What's with this game? Is it the delay because of the TV I'm using? What the fuck? So yeah, it does kind of get a little annoying and such, and now I'm just kind of ranting about how the game controlled bad, and like the AI is just cheap as hell. And everybody's like, well, nobody plays the game for the AI, and I do agree. The whole point of this game is to, you know, learn it by fighting Peter, and then you play against like human opponents. Now we do that online, but at the time when you had to play this game, somebody else needed to be in the damn room. Otherwise, you were by yourself with the with the AI, and that was it. So you know, you had to have a goal of having that sense of accomplishment of a beating game. So yeah, that's basically how that goes. We didn't have, well, can't say we didn't have online back then, because Dreamcast did have some sort of online thing. It just didn't work with this game. It worked with another game in the series, which I will actually cover. And here we go. It's Gil, and you might notice something weird. He's not the final character. That's strange. Anyway, yeah, it took me a few tries to get past this asshole too. Most of the majority of the hour I spent trying to finish this playthrough off was fighting against this guy and then the guy that comes next. So Gil, once again, cheap bastard, can like... It's almost like he predicts all your fucking moves, I swear. Like, every time you do something, he knows exactly how to counter it, he knows exactly what to do. Like I said, he can damage you anywhere, he knows when to hit, what to do. It's like... Sometimes, I mean, it's hard to believe that the computer can actually be cheaper than some of the human opponents you find in real life and online and stuff like that. I eventually found a cheap little way to beat him by spamming the hell out of 2 certain kicks. I mean, I came down with a medium kick and then finished with a hard sweep, which for some reason worked a lot better than trying to do anything else. As you can see, he got me a couple of times. He was able to parry, stop me, and stuff like that, but I don't know, for whatever strange reason, I don't know, maybe the game started to feel sorry for me. I just kept doing this for the most part, and it was starting to pay off, so pretty good. Oh, look at that, he knows how to jump, but yeah, he jumps around. He always jumps around when you don't need him to, and when you're trying to get him to jump so he can do certain moves, he'll just either stand there, throw fireballs at you, or he will just walk right up to you and smack you. See, I was able to get him there, but he does the fucking resurrection. And yeah, that didn't work, by the way. So I thought, because you can interrupt the resurrection if you do it right. I was too far away. and Fireball went right through him, which from across the screen it will. Like I said, there is a way to interrupt the resurrection and stop it. I mean, he'll still do it, but he won't get full power back. Needless to say, I didn't do that this time, and he was able to take me out that round. Luckily, when he does the resurrection, his gauge will not refill for the rest of that round. So there is a plus going into the next round, so he doesn't have that much gauge to rebuild. See, I almost had him, and how awesome would it have been if I got a perfect on? But no, I had to try to be fancy and say, oh look, here we go, I'm going to throw a fireball at him. Maybe that'll do it. And I wasted 3 supers trying to be fancy and take him out, and it pretty much almost cost me. So yeah, he was able to pretty much make a small comeback and take him out. Luckily, after a trade there, I was able to finally beat him. And that took me probably a good 25 minutes and about 5 or 6 tries before I finally took him down. And there's Gil all beat up by Sean. Oh yeah, that makes sense. But a new mechanic. Who's the final boss? It's a rival battle. Yep, that's right. And Sean's rival is Ken. This finishes like Street Fighter 2 does. I'm not Street Fighter Alpha 2 with the rival battle. No actual final boss. It does happen in a few of the Street Fighter games. I think the first 2 Alpha series and this one. Anything else, they don't do it. It's just always the final boss. So yeah, Gil not the final boss, second impact. Now I was gonna say, if you fulfill certain conditions, I think get enough perfects and finishing those supers, I don't think you lose any rounds. Instead of fighting whoever the rival battle is, you get Akuma, who appears and you fight him instead. Either him or Shin Akuma. And he's one tough son of a bitch. Anyway, this fight, oh my goodness, this one pissed me off. I don't know, I can't even tell how many tries it took me to take this guy down. It took me a good 25 to 30 minutes to finally get this damn match to finish and finally beat this cheap-ass son of a bitch. Who, by the way, oh look, can recover from just about anything. Like, I swear, there were times he went to do the Dragon Punch, I got him, I could have hit him, and oh, automatic block. Fuck you, Ken. Stupid online, not online, stupid AI in this game, cheap as hell. Look at that, just no buffer time between moves like when you're playing the character. No recovery, just go ahead, gets to go right into the next move. Don't know how that's even possible. Or maybe I just suck. I don't know. Oh, that's possible. As you can see, he taunts me too. What a fucking jerk. So yeah, like I said, the controls. I think the controls in this game really just blew. Especially using the Dreamcast controller. Cheap-ass AI. SNK. They really want to be SNK with this one. Want to be like King of Fighters or Final Fight. A couple things I want to also talk about. The voice acting sucked. I mean, when you're playing as Alex, and he does it, you can't escape. He sounds all badass in Third Strike. This one, you hear him, he goes, you can't escape. Oh man, they make him sound so like girly. And it's like, what the heck? This guy's supposed to be intimidating? I don't lose. That's his voice. He has like this high-pitched voice. The sound is terrible. The announcer voice is terrible. Round one. He sounds so bored. It's like anything you'd find in an SNK game. And I'm not saying anything bad about SNK games. They're pretty good fighting games too, but I swear, they borrowed the announcer from him. It's like, hey, we'll pay to do an announcement for our thing. And they did like little intros in the SNK games, or the SNK fighting games. Finally finished them off. So, you know, a little experimental with Street Fighter 3. And believe me, this video is a lot shorter than it took me to go ahead and go through all this crap, so. And of course, you get to the obligatory ending. Ken pretty much tells Sean, oh, you have to go beat Ryu. So, because he got a little tired of Sean, he's like, I want to spend time with my wife. Go away. Here, go fight Ryu. And Sean, God bless him, keeps trying and keeps getting his ass kicked by Ryu. And Ryu's like, oh, jeez, come on. Even Ryu kind of figures out, wait a minute, Sean, are you fighting me because Ken told you to do so? So, yeah. And he keeps trying, and I think he eventually gave up. I don't know. So, yeah, Street Fighter 3. This is pretty much the updated version of regular Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 Second Impact and Giant Attack was the tournament. Story-wise, it's the tournament, so. And Alex wins. I tried to do a playthrough with Alex, but it was. You thought this was bad? Just see me try to beat what's his name, Gil, when I was with Alex. It just, I gave up. I was so frustrated. I had to like throw away the controller. I really, after like playing this game, it'd be cool to play with other people, but playing by yourself against AI, I don't like it. This game is terrible. The controllers are bad. They don't work. They're unresponsive. The AI is cheap and recovers way too fast, way too auto. It's just... it's bad. I mean, I do like the game, but I don't like... if you're fighting the AI, you're going to hate the game. That's just the bottom line. That's it. That's where it goes. That's how it is. So yeah, finally able to finish this one. In case you're wondering, yes, I will be doing Third Strike next week, for those interested. And I will be finally finished with the Street Fighter 3 series. As far as my whole fighting game Friday thing, it will pretty much be at random. I'll choose what I choose when I choose it. So if there's any series or any game you want to see me do, go ahead and let me know. Oh, by the way, I'm really looking into some other fighting games, to let you know now, and it's not all going to be fun in games. Actually, it's all going to be games, but not all it's going to be fun. I'm going to look for some bad stuff to show too, so don't worry about that. I am searching. I will go to conventions and stores, pawn shops, and eBay if I have to find some of these gems and present them in this series. So you're going to see, if I can get a hold of it, you're going to see a lot of bad stuff. So a lot of plans for this series, so hopefully I can get everything I need to with this series. So, and that's about it. I finally got through this horrible attempt at this game. Not to mention, I suck at Street Fighter 3 to begin with. So, and I think I've rambled on enough. That's the end of that. Thank you for claims. I'm like Capcom. Before Capcom started their BS that they're doing now, and they're actually a company that cared and did nice things for its customers and didn't hide anything, make you pay for it later. But okay, I'm not here to rant on Capcom anymore. I'm here to talk about fighting games. And that's the end of that. You get a game over screen, you get the pose, and you get to see your score. Yay, I'm number 1. Alright, I'll see you guys later.